Something about you is different. Some kind of energy's missing. With all the chemicals in my brain, feel the temperature rising. That look in your eyes paralyzing. Forever you'll never leave in my veins. Heart is racing here now. Never wanna wait out. I want you right up to the end.
They're like, oh yeah, like follow your passion, go to college, go through all the hoops you need, and one day someone will send you a personal testicle spa bath massager. Like, I thought it was a joke, like just by name, but no, this is very much straight up exactly what you think it is.
He's about to do it.
Potential. You're supposed to have potential. Done. I'm good. This is here. Woo. All right. Dimitri, I'm on you. You have a 75% chance of winning this card. You also have a 25% chance of being permanently banned from my YouTube channel. What's it gonna be? No! Dimitri! What did you do? Oh, brother. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where you're Matt, I'm Kohrs, and together we're the show. We're here to talk about the old stonk market, the old crypto market, the old futures market, the old options market. We're going to talk a little bit about breaking news and just everything else that's going on in the world. I hope everyone had an absolutely fantastic extended weekend. Yes, unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of you were feeling a little bit of the itch to trade yesterday because, yes, we are all mentally addicted. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is a fun thing. But yeah, the market was closed yesterday in observation of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And now that we kind of got that out of the way, on top of just the normal holiday season between late December, early January, it feels like now we can get into the swing of things. Like, it feels like now we're ready to go and seeing how green we can make our P&L officially for 2023. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's been a rough start for me. I know why. Mathematically, I've proven why I'm stupid. Now it's the game of, can I make it all back? And then some. Do I mind? Not really. I kind of run my life on the concept of the earlier you fall behind, the more time you have to catch up. If I screwed up my accounts in November or December of this year, I simply wouldn't have that much time to make the money back. But the fact that I messed up my accounts in the first 2 weeks of January, folks, I have a long time. I have in excess of 11 months to make my money back. So that's a plethora of time, almost too much time. So I feel like I'm feeling good. I'm in a good position. The earlier you fall behind, the more time you have to catch back up. That's a life lesson. If there's any of you children, any of you youths tuning in right now before you have to go to school for the day, take that as a major life lesson. Or even for those of you who are working on a big project at work or school or whatever have you, the earlier you fall behind, the more time you have to catch back up. You don't want to fall behind right at the end. That's awkward. You don't have time to get done what you need to get done. Take a lesson from me. This is how I run my life. If you're going to screw things up, screw them up early. That's the life lesson of the day. And look at that. Maybe we'll even run into some relationship advice later on in the stream. But overall, we have some fun in the markets. Recently, the market's been popping. If you ask me, I don't think it's going to last that long. In fact, I think it's going to actually be a pretty painful year. Not extremely painful, but I do believe that the market's going to end in a a pretty red scenario, at least at some point. I can't call it out for necessarily December 31st, but clearly the market's under some pressure. So I do want to talk about all that with you. Then we're going to kind of zoom in on some of the recent developments. We have a lot of banks reporting. We have some beating, such as Morgan Stanley. We have some missing, such as Goldman Sachs. We'll be getting into that. Then I have other interesting stories that we're going to be getting into. Around 11:30 today, we're going to be bringing on a professional trader, Mike Edward from TTG, just to talk about what he's been seeing recently, but also just because of the time of the year, his opinions on what will be playing out this calendar year. Then we have some interesting videos to react to. We're going to be doing some degenerate trades throughout the day. We're going to be paying attention to Bed Bath & Beyond because it has been ripping. Friday was not so good. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about Alibaba. If you guys missed the news, Ryan Cohen, that's his newest one that he's supporting, BABA, ticker symbol BABA. We talked about it a little bit over the past year, 2 years. I've commonly referred to Alibaba as, in my opinion, one of the most undervalued stocks based on its fundamental performance. But that's mainly because it runs into serious headwinds from both the US and the Chinese government. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be answering some questions if you guys want to talk about whatever. Futures trading, algorithmic trading, if you want to talk about some option stuff, whatever you guys want to talk about. This is what the Goonies come here for. We're just going to be messing around, having a good time. Haircut got Matt some Riz. Don't know what Riz means, but Daryl, I'm going to take it as a compliment. Haircut got Matt some Riz. Riz got Matt some Riz. Some like razzle dazzle. A little bit of, is that what, like a little bit of je ne sais quoi, if you will? Why am I sick? Billy, no one will ever know. Riz. What the fuck does Riz mean? Oh, before Riz equals charm. Oh, that's nice. Man, you just made my day. I appreciate that. Maybe before we start everything, I would like to really officially kick off not only kind of back to normalcy here, but also just this particular stream, this particular week. Controversial question for all of you, and I need you all to answer. Is Tom Brady now done? My vote is yes, and it has nothing to do with like his football prowess, his life imploding. The dude cost me a lot of money sports gambling last night. I'm being a little overly dramatic. I was break even. I had some good bets. I had some bad bets. But what's going on with the Bucs? They couldn't score. I bet on Tampa Bay getting over 21 points. I needed over 2.5 touchdowns, and they couldn't do it. What, is he intentionally ruining my life? Did he call up Barstool and say, hey, Barstool, what bets has Matt Kohrs placed? And Barstool, Dave picked up. He's like, oh, it looks like Kohrs placed this, and this. And then he's like, cool, I'm just not going to. Like, it almost feels personal at a certain point. And I don't know. I guess in a certain way, I'm a little bit upset with it. Like, I'm very much upset with it. Sports is fixed. It feels like it's fixed against me. And do I care if sports are fixed? No. I just want to know so I can make the right bets. That's my whole argument here is like, I don't mind if they're fixed. It's just like, why are they fixed against me? Similar to the market. You know how we always get short ladder attacked in dark pools when I have a trade on and it always happens to go against me? It's just like, I don't care if it's fixed. It's just like, let your boy know. Like, let me in on a little bit of the secret. Let good old Matty boy into the cool kids club so I know which way it's fixed. I'm just like, I'm tired of it being fixed against me. This is like the only thing I want to say. Just throw megalodons in the dark pools. I thought short ladder attacks don't exist, Matt. I buy short. Must have been a long weekend for you, man. It's all right. You'll catch back up to speed. We're back onto the team dark pools. There's two teams you can be. There's two types of people in this world. Either your team dark pool or your team not dark pool. And we're team dark pool here. Sell everything. Ray Dalio said so. So did Rich Dad Poor Dad. Didn't Rich Dad Poor Dad like have to declare bankruptcy for like his entire empire? At least you didn't put 1.4 mil on the Chargers at halftime. Oh yeah, when the Jags came back, he put on 1.4 mil. For those of you who don't know, there was this crazy bet. The Chargers were up against the Jags at halftime, like 24-0, 27-0, something like that. They had quite the lead. someone at halftime bet 1.4 mil that they would win, and that would make them a return of 11 grand. But they ended up, because the Jags came back in a very, very impressive fashion, that better lost 1.4 mil. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Lawrence hit beast mode after halftime. Dude, he is good. So we've talked about this a little bit. And I asked you guys, because I'm not like the biggest sports fan in terms of following the players and their skill. I attack it all mathematically. Like I'm just on ESPN's website and these other various websites where I could get all this the stats, and code it up and see if I could see any trends, patterns. Like that's how I lead my bets. But so I don't really follow the who's who of like, oh my God, like this is going to be a good quarterback. This is going to be a great quarterback. But the one question I asked you folks was trying to understand if there's much of a discrepancy between Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, because it does seem as if the prevailing wisdom is, yes, eventually Joe Burrow will be a Hall of Fame amazing quarterback. Like this isn't going to be a run-of-the-mill quarterback. This is going to be a guy that's going to like accrue some serious accolades. And then I asked you folks, is Trevor Lawrence going to be the same? Like, are we looking at another generational quarterback, or is he just another quarterback? And it seems like when I first asked you that it was kind of like up in the air a little bit. But it really does seem as if Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence are both going to be like these kind of storied franchise quarterbacks type of a deal. Well, even King Kyle, you're saying huge difference. Joe is the new GOAT. Joe is really good. I'm just saying, like, is there a chance that Trevor Lawrence will also be at that level? I mean, these comebacks and some of his, like, his recent playing, if he always played how he recently played over the past 4 or 5 games, like, if that was 100% his resume, I think we would all be saying, yeah, they're both amazing, like, both absolutely great. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. I wonder who I think is going to win. If I had to, I don't know, the 49ers, if I had to throw out a futures prediction right now of who wins the Super Bowl, it'd be between the Bills, the Eagles, and the 49ers, which, like, I don't think any of you are finding that surprising because, like, they're all phenomenal. Especially the 49ers have been crushing it lately, absolutely crushing it. I guess if I had to bet right now, of who ends up winning, would I go with the 49ers? I want the Eagles to win just because I support Philly. But the 49ers, it's been tough to argue with the 49ers. Bills versus 49ers. Bills are the champs. Without Hurts, I'm not sure the Eagles will go the whole way. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. It could, if it ends up being the Niners and the Bills, but Josh Allen, like, dude, he's a playoff quarterback, unlike Brady. It'll be a good one. It'll be good. It'll be good to see all of that. But Matt, 217-23, 40 put. All right, let me write this down so I don't miss this. Chiefs and Bengals. Yeah, I mean, you can't really discount Mahomes by any means. Like, there's some really bad teams this year, but then also there's some pretty highly performing teams. Matt, 217, 40 put on coin, and then 120, 217, 23, and then 120, 23. What are you asking about here? 310 put on Netflix, 310 put on NFLX, 421.75 put on Tesla. Got these last week's thoughts. Okay, well, I'll make sure to definitely answer that like right around like as the market's opening. I got it all written down though. What if Dallas wins? I don't think. I mean, obviously they could. I just don't. Like, they had a good game last night, but you have to ask yourself this. Did they have a good game, or did the Bucs just have a bad game? I know the Dallas defense looked really, really good, and you have to ask yourself, were they just that good, or was the Bucs offense just not that good? Something fair to consider. Something fair to consider. Matt, why did you say I am AMC Jimmy is a degenerate trade? because it is. Like, it 100% is a degenerate trade. AMC, GME, Bed Bath, all these like chasing of a short squeeze type of play, it's not much different than going up to a casino and saying, I'm going to bet it all on green. It's just high risk, high reward. That's a degenerate play. Like, it is on a relative basis so much more degenerate than how people generally interact with the market. When you're interacting with the market, a lot of people are like, cool, I want my 7, 8, 9% of return per year. I'm going to stick it there for 3 to 4 decades. And I just want that compound return slow and steady. By any definition, if you're looking for these short squeeze plays, it's a degenerate play without a doubt. Like, I wouldn't say that as a negative thing. It's a different mathematical breakdown. It's high risk, high reward. And if that's for you, that's for you. But I mean, it's for me. I will happily take on the mantle of being the first to admit I am a degenerate when it comes to poker, sports gambling, betting in the market, any of that stuff. Like, I don't necessarily mean it as a negative adage, but I do mean it as a realistic adage of what that play is. If you think investing in AMC, GME, Doge, Shiba, Bed Bath and Beyond, all of these like crazy like MMAT, MMTLP, they're degenerate plays. It's not a negative thing. It's just you're taking on a super high risk, high reward type of a play. And hey, if it works, it's fun. But why did I say it's a degenerate play? Because they are degenerate trades. Like, they are 100% degenerate trades. How can you be a degen at poker? You can't contain yourself, just like when you bought all those crap stocks. Pretty much. Yeah, I like to overly bet when I have 2-7 offsuit because I think it's funny. If you think Matt was created thanks to AMC, you're wrong. Matt was created because of the apes and retail, not the memes. I mean, I 100% agree with that. Short the pump and dump. I got BBY puts expiring in June. I mean, we're going to take a look at Bed Bath & Beyond. It does seem to be coming down. If I were long on it, which remember, I never took a position, but if I were long, I would have already locked it in. As soon as it started to show weakness, I would have got out. If it shows strength again, of course you can once again go long. There's no rule that you can't re-enter. But whatever you're doing in these types of high flying, high volatility, potential squeeze plays, trailing stop losses are exactly what you want. This concept of getting married to a play of diamond hands and no matter what happens, I have to be in it, that's silly. That's a perfect recipe to lose money. If you're getting in these plays, understand they are active trades. They are not investments. There's a big, big difference between active trades and investments. The investments are something you have done your fundamental research on, you like where it's trending fundamentally, you invest in it, and you come back years later. An active trade is a thing that you're getting in, you're like, here's my risk, okay, here's my reward, let's ride it. Like, you're paying attention to it. You're actively on your toes. Wildly different. Wildly different. Can I make a SPY poll this morning? Oh, yeah. You want to know which? Start a Q&A, start a poll. All right. Market today. Speaking of the market today, there are some things that we should talk about before that bell goes dingity ding ding ding. Green, red. All right, ask your community. There we go. All right. Excuse me. I'm like 95% better, but still a little bit of a cough. But anyway, my apologies for that. Let's get ready for the market. What is this? Disney defends Iger, says activist Peltz has no track record in big media. Don't know what that means, but it sounds like there is corporate level drama. Stock futures trade lower as investors look ahead to corporate earnings. So big banks are all reporting right now. And just if you want to get a quick screenshot of what's going on. So early this morning, we got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Silvergate. We're going to be talking about those after the market closes today. We have United, Delta beat, and also American telegraphed before there's that they're probably going to beat. So I am expecting United to also beat. So I want to put that out there. I'm expecting good, positive, bullish reaction. Well, I can't say bullish reaction, but I do expect them to beat on their expectations. Remember, those are two distinct things. Tomorrow we have more banks. We have Charles Schwab. We have PNC. Later on this week, I'm going to be definitely paying attention to Netflix. That's a big tech play, the first big tech play of this earnings season. So watching all of these, feel free to screenshot it. But yes, we are in earnings season. So the big ones that came out today, Morgan Stanley's earnings top Wall Street expectations helped by record wealth management revenue. So right here, they got $1.31 in terms of earnings. And then in terms of revenue, $12.75 billion when the expectation was $12.64. Morgan Stanley's investment banking, trading, and investment management operations were impacted by the extreme volatility last quarter. Just so you know, in terms of layoffs and companies that have been negatively hit by kind of the headwinds created by the Fed, and thus we're seeing it in the economy, it's not just tech that's laying people off, it is also banks. The New York-based firm cut 2% of its staff in December, which impacted 1.6 thousand of their employees. So not the big cuts that we're seeing in the tech world, but still cuts nonetheless. And then going on to one that didn't fare so well, Goldman Sachs misses profit estimates on declines in investment banking, asset management, and revenue. So I do find it kind of noteworthy that very similar businesses, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, and one is singing one tune and one is singing the other. So we're getting a little bit of a mixed bag scenario. So for Goldman, ticker symbol GS, the earnings were 332 when the estimate was 548. So that's not just a little miss, that's a wide miss. And their revenue was 10.59 billion when the estimate was 10.83. So Goldman, once again, ticker symbol GS, missed on earnings revenue, not so good. Now, obviously, there are other earnings coming out. Like I said, I'm paying attention to United tonight. I'll be paying attention to Netflix. I'm still going to pay attention to all the big banks to see their opinions on yields, bonds. I really just want to know their commentary about what they think will be playing out this year. In terms of other macroeconomic reports, today at 8:30, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Not the biggest. Tomorrow, I will be paying attention to retail sales. Very much interested in that. And we're also going to get a little bit of an update on the real estate sector. Right now, real estate appears to be vomiting. So I'm expecting that to continue. Unfortunately, the world of housing, real estate is taking a steep dive. So I want to be paying attention to that because eventually that will represent an opportunity when we think it's putting the turn in. Later on this week, we get the classic initial jobless claims, more real estate stuff on Friday. And then we still also have a couple Fed speakers throughout the week, not as heavy as last week. 5 things to know before that stock market bell goes dingity ding ding ding. Today, Tuesday, January 17th, the first day of the trading week, because yesterday we had off because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Another thing going on today that I just want to point out is the Davos Summit, where it's a bunch of rich, highfalutin, fancy schmancy people meet and talk about things. I don't know if there is an active live stream. If there is, I would we can listen to part of it, but there's a big Davos summit going on. I believe it started yesterday, continuing today. We're going to check in on that. Back at it. Market continuing upward. If you haven't seen the market lately, we've been on a nice push ever since Thursday the 5th, just pushing. My next level of resistance is 400 flat, then a little bit over 402. Right now, we're starting a little red today compared to where we closed, but not off by much. We're talking 40 cents. So overall, the trend in the short term does seem to be bullish, but just be careful because I don't think it's going to last that long. I don't think we're getting up to these levels of 408, 410. It's just we're not seeing that many good things coming out of earnings. So if the earnings were rock star reports, yeah, I would expect us to rip. But right now, the first inclination that we're getting from the earnings reports is not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Very much a mixed bag scenario. Eyes on Goldman, they reported, they missed, not that good. China's population falls. This is the first time in forever that their population has actually gone the other way. So kind of interesting numbers there. Audio industry predictions. You could check this out, especially if you're more of an EV automotive industry, investor trader. It is actually a pretty good report. Wining and dining, They're not look at these people. U.S. congressional delegation in Davos, Switzerland, for the World Economic Forum. So we're going to be checking in on this a little bit later. But I think even Squawk Box was reporting from there this morning. So it's popular, but There's drama related to it. So I want to save that whole segment for a bit later to really dive into what in the world's going on in Switzerland. As of right now, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all just slightly red. Oil's still continuing to go. I mean, I've been calling this out. I'm in Oxy. That's my particular investment in the energy sector. But I just see no way in which this doesn't perform well. And even if it doesn't, the risk is minimal because we know oil's not going to drop below 70 a barrel. We know with how diminished the strategic petroleum reserves are, the SPR here in the U.S., they're going to just step in and continue to buy. I just don't see much risk. The risk-reward ratio of a medium-term investment right now in energy is very favorable, in my opinion, and that's exactly why I'm in Oxy. You could play it through petroleum itself. You could look at Exxon, Chevron, Devon. There's so many ways to play it. I chose to go through Oxy. I'm still invested in it, and I will let you know any updates on that. And right now, yield's going up a little bit, but not too much. Apple announces updated Mac Mini and MacBook Pro with its most powerful chips yet. What is this? A little bit of breaking news. Apple announces new Macs with its most powerful chips yet. Apple announced new Macs on Tuesday that can be purchased with either M2 Pro or M2 Max chips, the most powerful Apple silicon yet. The company unveiled refreshes to its 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro laptops, both of which can be configured with the latest processors. Apple's also announced an update to its Mac Mini computer with support for the M2 Pro or M2 Max. So about a year ago, it brought all of its processing chip design in-house. Before that, it was actually a big hit, I believe, to Intel. They were partnered up with them. So that was a big hit to them to lose the Apple business. Apple saying, hey, we'll do it faster, better, cheaper in-house. And right now they are making actually some pretty impressive chips. So just wanted to throw that out there, a little bit of breaking news. Okay, so what I want to talk about, just because we're a little over 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes till that bell goes dingity ding ding ding. SPY still looking strong. A little bit later, after we're going to watch the first 10, 15, 20 minutes market open, I can give you the statistical breakdown of what this day normally does. But remember, from a seasonal perspective, the back half of January is bearish biased. So the first half of January, it does favor the bulls just from a seasonal perspective. It's not like it ever has to play out this way. I'm just letting you know of like the historic headwinds and tailwinds. The first half, definitely supported by tailwinds. The second half of January into roughly the first week of February is historically bearish. Doesn't mean always bearish. It just means like if you took those trades historically, you would be net ahead to be more of a bear in the second half of January. Does that mean it has to be bearish this time around? Absolutely not. If anything, I would still react to the price action, react to the developments, pay attention to your risk, your reward. I just want everyone to know of the bias for the second half of January. But for today specifically, January 17th, 2023, it is the 10th trading day of all the month and also the year. We're going to dive into that data just so everyone feels a little bit more comfortable about where we are, where we aren't. But right now, the market is looking pretty strong. Tesla making a decent recovery up to 126. RUM has been really strong over the past week, currently trading at 948. My average is right around 950, so I love seeing this. Bed Bath does look as if maybe this run is over. Yeah, this is gapping down before the low. I'd be out of this play. In this first big red day, I mean, clearly that's a trend change. Green day, green day, green day, green day, first big red day. Obviously, that is a change of trend. Clearly, that's a change of trend. I would have locked my profits in if I were long. Remember, I didn't trade this at all. I would have locked it in. And if it starts to turn its head around and rip again, I would just re-enter. It's that simple. But this is not a play that you want to get married to. This is a play that if I was riding it up, I would have been out on Friday. And if I was really aggressive, which I don't plan on doing it this time, but at some point this year, I think we should be aggressive about these pump and dumps. I would short this and ride it all the way back down. Currently trading at $3.52. I think Bed Bath will be going back down to sub $2, sub $1.50. So you can make some decent money on this if you want to take on that risk. Because remember, it is tough to short those types of things. All right. Dingity ding ding ding. The casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Please play responsibly. All right. Oops. Voice changer still on. Market's open. What the plan is right here. I have a bunch of stories. I have a bunch of videos. I have a bunch of things that we're going to check out. I do want to, okay, we have this. I want to watch Alibaba here. We'll put Baba here for a second just because Ryan Cohen is now involved with it. So I think it might be worthwhile to see if Baba has any crazy reactions early this morning. Then we can go back to Rum. Right now, just so you know, 67% of you said you thought it's going to be a green day. So I just want to throw that out there that based on the Goonie polls, 2 out of 3 of you, the person above you and the person below you, think it's going to be a green day, while you yourself think it's actually going to be a red day. If I do any of my trades, which you don't know me, my first trades are going to be allowed at 10 a.m. I just want the market to open up, kind of get that open volatility churn out of the way. But right now it's actually looking pretty green. So we'll pay attention to Baba. Baba not doing the best so far, but an interesting play nonetheless. With Bed Bath & Beyond, it does seem that it might be Dunzo. So I'd be very, very worried about that. I'd be very, very careful. Tesla moving. What is Cohen's involvement in Baba? We will cover that in a second. It is actually a little bit of exciting news. Some people are talking about Silvergate. It reported this morning. It's up right now, but this, to me, is a very, very toxic investment. There's a lot of murmurs going around that this could run into serious regulation issues and regulator issues, like such as the SEC, FINRA, DOJ, very much intertwined with that world of FTX and the crypto collapse. I mean, Silvergate, for those of you who don't know, ticker symbol SI, reported earnings this morning. It's up right now 17%. But I would be very, very, very cautious about being bullish on this one, just because we've seen so many crypto players recently falling, and I don't believe that SI is going to escape that. So I would be very, very careful. If anything, if I had to play it and I have no position, any major pop, I would just bet against SI. But it's up right now. Apparently people must have liked something it said in its earnings announcement, once again reported early this morning. But I don't buy it for that long. Don't buy it. But a good gain. I don't think it'll hold. As of now, Ape opened up 6%, AMC up 4.5, GME up 2. Bed Bath is break even, getting a little bit of a pop there. The SPY a little bit flat. You have Tesla pushing. Baba selling. I actually thought there would be more excitement in it, especially based on the reports that just came out about Ryan Cohen and Alibaba. SI, big gainer, but kind of selling off from that. I don't think it'll hold that long. We have Oxy going up. I'm actually surprised Oxy is not up more. Man, Tesla is still moving. Tesla tagging 127.50. The SPY perfectly flat, choppy at open. Some people are talking about BIOR. It's up 7.5%. This is still trash. I mean, I need it up at 100 just to get out for break even. I don't think BIOR is going to end well for me by any means. Microsoft was down more in pre-market because Guggenheim, the analyst, downgraded Microsoft, I believe, to a sell, but it looks like it's fighting back after that. You have Apple, that's also pretty much break even. It's very, very common for Apple and Microsoft to pretty much just track what's going on with the S&P 500 because they're just such Goliaths of a company. Speaking of Goliaths of a company, I want to reiterate how much I still like UNH as a medium to long-term investment. United Health Group, it is truly a Goliath. It's the biggest health insurance play in the U.S. Decent dividend. Home Depot, I want to throw this out there for people, maybe not active traders, but more medium to long-term people. Really like what's going on with Home Depot. Actually, still really like what's going on with Microsoft. I'm trying to think of any other medium to long-term investments. NVIDIA. Really like NVIDIA. Just the state of the world right now. These processing chips are so incredibly important. So I like that. If you're looking for more of a medium term, if you're like, hey, where do I see things going in 2023? Massive fan of what will happen with bonds this year. And I know that's boring. I know when anyone brings up bonds and yields and all that good stuff, your eyes gloss over because it is boring. It's not like a sexy thing, but I would rather be making money than doing something that's sexy, losing me money. So I'm actually very, very bullish on bonds this year. You could look at things like TLT, BND, I think is the other one. But there's a couple different bonds plays that you could get through ETFs. TLT, I think, is going to be the most liquid one. But I think that bonds actually will do well this year because I think yields are going to end up coming down because I think we're going to stop hiking interest rates after the March meeting. Early Feb, we have a meeting. Late March, we have one. And then I think from there, we're going to coast on our interest rates. Don't forget your oil you mentioned on Yahoo. Yeah, I like Oxy. I mean, we talked about Oxy, but just the energy sector. I mean, you might like a different energy play. I like Oxy just because I don't mind saddling up with Warren Buffett. It's not like he's really wrong that often. So I like energy. Energy, that's more of an active medium-term trade. I don't think I'll be holding that into 2024. I think at some point in 2023, I'll be offloading my energy play just to like kind of give you roughly a time frame. Can you talk about Crocs? Would love to hear your opinion. I don't know much about the fundamentals of Crocs, but I could happily. My lips are so chapped. I'm sorry. They're like cracking. It like hurts to speak. I could do this lip balm though. Shout out to Kudri, one of my mobs, for putting this in there. She sent me this and it does work perfectly. All right. Crocs. That's going on the list. Actually, this is a great time. Please comment what chart you want me to do a breakdown of. This is, I don't know, we'll write down a list of like 10, 20, 30, something like that. What charts do you want me to do like more of the daily chart breakdown of and give you my knee-jerk reaction? Comment the ticker. Comment the ticker. Comment the ticker. N-phase, Apple. N-phase, Apple. What else do we have? Tilray, Mullen, Mara. Tilray, Mullen, Mara. Okay. AMC. Your mom goes to college. My mom's actually going to Florida right now. SPY, Coin, Tesla. SPY, Coin. Someone did ask about Netflix. Add that to the list. Netflix. Roblox. RBLX. Roku. Haven't looked at Roku in a minute. Someone wants silver, SLV. SoFi. Haven't checked out that one in a second. BTC. Okay. What else do we have? WTER. Okay. 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 All right. I think I got most of them. That's a good list. And obviously, if there's more time, I just wanted to get a list of to see what your interest is in. We have Tesla's. Wait, is Tesla up to Tesla? Tesla. What's another popular one? Home Depot. And we'll check out Oxy. All right. I'm just filling up my list. All right. It is 9:38, so we're not even the first 15 minutes in. The SPY selling off a little bit. Tesla had a great push, giving it all back. Bed Bath had a push, giving it all back. Bonds actually going up. What do we have on Bed Bath? We already have that one. AMC push, giving it back. Ape doing absolutely nothing. GME pushed, gave it back, trying to push again. SI is still moving. I would be very careful. SI, if you're playing it to the upside, please understand that once again is a very, very active trade. Be on your toes. Get ready to cut the position if it were to move against you. What else do we have moving? Is Baba doing anything today? It's going to be hard for things to perform if the dollar is selling like this, just so everyone knows. Matt sounds like an airplane pilot. More of a rocket pilot. Yeah. Can you take a look at Shiba and see what you reckon? Shiba? Yeah. Shiba. Crypto's definitely been under pressure. But in the super short term, crypto's actually been popping. We did get as high as almost 21.6 thousand. Bitcoin had a beautiful pop. ETH got as high as 1,600, but I mean, it depends the time frame. The short time frame, things have been popping lately, but if you zoom out, we obviously have quite a distance to make back. Quite a distance. LMNOP is trending. I mean, LMNOP. I hope it goes without saying that. I am always gonna love LMNOP. Like, it's always just crushing it. Voyager updated their app with claim info for us. Okay, we'll definitely check into that. Can I admit the joke first played when I actually went looking for the ticker? Well, the medication I'm on for the pain is making it so I cannot think through trading, so I'm done for the day. Oh man, I'm sorry, whatever you're going through that you're on medicine, but yeah, take a breather. If you notice in yourself that you're not as sharp as you need to be, don't risk losing money. Just take a chill day, watch some TV, relax, meditate, take a bath. I don't know, get some bath bomb stuff. Cup and handle on rum. We can happily break down rum. Rum's been crushing it in the short term. For those of you paying attention to the overall market, please understand that the trend is still clearly bullish. I mean, ever since really the 6th, the 5th of January, pushing. It'll be interesting if this can get above 399, 400, watching that. But please understand, I know in the short term, it looks like it's trending down, but understand where we are in a larger term. When in doubt, zoom out. It could give you a different perspective that could really, really help. So this might just be like a little bit of a morning dip. I don't know. It could be a horrific sell-off, but I just don't want you to all of a sudden be like crazy bearish at this moment in time, when in reality, we're actually still pretty sky high relative to what happened over the past 2 weeks worth of trading. All right, Tesla. I mean, thus far, Chop SI is doing well. It's the biggest gainer on my watch list right now, 21%. I'm interested in Alibaba just because of the new Ryan Cohen disclosure and everything. Well, there we go. The classic weird 941 pop. Classic bath bombs are too perfumey. Fun fact about me, I've only taken one bath with a bath bomb in my life, and it was recently when I was sick and I had like a sinus congestion relief bath bomb. I think there was like eucalyptus and stuff in it, and it actually worked crazy well. So if there's any bath bomb creators on the stream right now that need bath bomb sponsorship, I'm your guy. All right. While we're waiting for these first 15 minutes to play out, quick shout out to one of today's stream sponsors. I'm talking about True Trading Group, a full trading ecosystem. They have a chat room. They have education modules. They do weekend specialty training courses. They do trade alerts. There's many professional traders over there. Check it out. Michael Edward is the head trader. He literally just dropped his opinion for the full year. So if you sign up right now, you're going to get that. You get 7 days for just access to see if it's for you for just $3. First name, email, phone. Check it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Once again, 7-day trial for just $3. No auto upgrade or anything like that. See if it is for you. Once again, 7 days, 7 actual trading days, not just one calendar week, 7 actual trading days for just $3, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And if you have any questions about it, he will be coming on today around the lunchtime period, that lull, and we're just going to chop it up about what's going on in the market, what he sees, anything like that. So if you have questions, that will be a perfect time to bounce it off of him. But shout out to True Trading Group, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you're looking to make your trading a little bit more refined, a little bit more sharp, a little bit better this year, I wholeheartedly believe this is an opportunity for you to take advantage of it for literally just $3. SI already coming back down. Let's see if this can make a run all the way back down to not being green on the day, currently up just over 16%. The SPY tried to get a pop there at 941. Let's see if it can hold. Tesla, high volatility at open. BABA even trying to make a recovery there. Interesting open. The SPY is currently break even on the day. You just have the markets really reacting to the mixed bag scenario of all these big banks that we're reporting. So I see a lot of people spamming BBIG. What's going on with BBIG? BBIG is up 15%, but it's also a shit penny stock, so please be careful. Hey, if you're in it, understand it's a full degenerate move, and I'm not necessarily against degenerate moves, but I also don't actively trade penny stocks. Trading penny stocks, the edge is to be betting against them. Just generically, your expected value is positive by betting against penny stocks rather than betting on the success of penny stocks. Most penny stocks end up failing. Not all, I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying generically, if you're talking about a penny stock, you have to understand there's a reason there's a penny stock. If the market prices something at less than $1, it's the market. The entire market, living, breathing organism is telling you that that particular security is nothing but absolute trash. So please be careful. Might be a great active trade. I mean, it ran from 68 cents all the way up to 78. That's a big percentage gain. You can make big money, but understand penny stock land is for people who are very, very active, not people who are just like investing and checking back in a couple days. All right, so on SHIB, you also want the 5-day moving average. Yeah, I'll add that 5 moving average. We're going to do these chart reviews and breakdowns when things just like quiet down a little bit, because right now there might be some nice movements that we might actively want to trade on. I got most of my wealth on penny stocks during the bubble. I mean, no, high volatility. You can make a lot of money. Whenever we're talking about this type of stuff, I know that there's different people tuning in and tuning out. So I just want you to know there's a big difference between penny stock, active, high volatility trading, like actively trading, and then investing. There's a big difference between arbitrarily buying BBIG and arbitrarily buying Microsoft. Big difference. Can you make a lot of money on penny stock? Yes. I personally know people, many people, no, I shouldn't say many. I know a handful of people who are penny stock trading millionaires. I also know a lot of people who blew up their accounts trading penny stocks. So it's like anything in the market. There's a lot of ways to play this game. And I'm not saying my way is perfect. I'm just saying understand the particular game that you're in when you're playing a little sub game. Jamie go Burr. I have an itchy butt. Well, I hope you can get that resolved, but it's not really going Burr. I would love for it to go Burr, but it's not really moving too much today. We have Tesla up 4%. Tesla, in terms of blue chip, like large cap stocks, Tesla seems to be the main mover today. How's the dollar looking? We should check in on the dollar. The dollar is going to the downside. Dollar showing weakness. In fact, it's below 102. Remember, the lower the dollar goes, that is, at least at this current moment in time, suggestive of a bullish action in the S&P 500. So remember, the dollar and the SPY move inversely, as in the opposite direction in the current monetary policy regime. Atomic Heart, I am starting in the market like a tiger in tall grass looking for a slow animal. You know, honestly, that's a pretty good metaphor. Like, that's pretty accurate to like what you should or shouldn't be doing. All right. Remember, we are officially at the start of earnings season. So over the next couple of weeks, next 2-3 weeks, we're going to be talking about earnings on a daily basis, because that's inherently what's going to be moving the market. Why do stocks sometimes not match the price during market hours between different platforms? You might be getting delayed data, but any good platform, they will match. Like, if I were to check the price of an equity, or like, let's just say the SPY or Tesla or whatever, Microsoft, on TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, and TradeStation, it would all be exactly the same. Sometimes there's really shitty platforms out there that give you delayed data, or it's like averaging data. Like, if you look at Robinhood, they're averaging data over short periods of time instead of giving you the exact tick value. So basically, if there's a discrepancy, there's a good chance that you either have delayed data or just really bad brokerage. But remember, structurally, how this is set up is the exchanges, or I guess the other way to really think about it, most of these brokerages are just showing you the price that's currently going on at Citadel, because most of these are doing payment for order flow and they're directly connected. So you're basically just seeing the price that the liquidity at Citadel, the securities, is currently offering. Remember, all these brokerages, they don't set any prices. They're showing you the prices, and they're looking at the lit markets. They're like, well, most of them are just telling you what's going on at Citadel, because most are selling their order flow straight to Citadel. But there's not going to be any large deviation. Unfortunately, I only have 2 GB motherboard video. I need to upgrade so I can play most video games. Shiba, please. Looks prepped for a breakout. Okay, hang on. We might have to check Shiba a little bit early. Looks like there's some exciting stuff. Shiba. What's going on in the world of Shiba? Sheeb. All right, so Shiba. Oh, no, this is a classic bull pennant. So bull pennant, also known as a, like, just kind of like this flag looking thing. So you have this flag pole, lower highs, higher lows. It's a flag. It's a bull pennant is the actual name. These commonly break to the upside, not all the time, but what you would want to do is track the kind of triangle that we have going on. So nice flag pole, and then you have this pennant, and you're looking for the breakout to the upside and hopefully the hold of it. Once again, this does statistically favor the bulls, but it doesn't favor the bulls 100% of the time. So I just want to be very, very clear about that. But yeah, no, this is at 0.0001, which is actually quite the downfall of where it used to be, but it's definitely picking up. I would definitely recommend being cautious just because all the recent pops ended up going very poorly. Pop, drop, pop, drop. I wouldn't just arbitrarily chase this and be like, oh no, like it has to work this time, because all the recent ones have ended pretty freaking poorly. But yeah, no, this is looking strong. I mean, that's quite a percentage gain. It's still holding in strength. We know the crypto market's been strong. I believe Brendan was asking for the 5 moving average. So let's just check this out. Hang on. I have the 9 up right now. No, I wanted inputs. All right, we'll look at the 5. So basically it's just following it. It's on the top side. So it's pushing. It's nice. I don't really use the 5 and I don't necessarily like dislike it. It's just because not many other people use the 5, and whenever it comes to technicals, you want to be using what most people are using because that's what the market is reacting to, is what the majority is telling you. This is the 4-hour moving average. It's definitely showing strength in the short term. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to deny that this thing is definitely showing some strength on the sheep chart. My only, like, just to not be completely biased, is just be careful because all the recent pops did end poorly. I hope this is a change of tune. I hope that this is the time it looks different because you have a nice pop, higher lows, it's swinging around. I mean, I'd be looking at this breakout level or even the break of the top trend. I see strength. I own sheep still. I don't like it to the point that I'm just going to invest more. Like, I'm definitely going to wish for its success because I would love to get back to break even. But actually, I think most of my sheep is on Voyager, so I don't even think I could do anything with it. Actually, I might have some on Coinbase. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, crypto showing some strength for sure. The market, potentially a cup and handle setup. Let's see if it can get back above the high 398s or basically 399. That's a big breakout level. Big breakout level. And it's almost 10. So in 7 minutes, I can start doing my thing. If you're bullish on the market today, you're looking for the dollar to continue to sell off. You very much want the dollar to continue to sell off. Oil is ripping. Oil is now at 81. Oil is Rip City. Wow. Holy guacamole, Batman. Ever since 3 a.m. this morning, oil has gone from 79 to 81 a barrel. Oil is moving. So should be good for companies like Oxy. We're getting a very muted reaction on Oxy. A little bit of a discrepancy there, but still bullish on energy, still bullish on oil. Looks like the SPY is about to rip. Look like the SPY is about to go full Rip City. Rum coming back. Microsoft looking good. Apple looking good. SI bleeding off. No surprise there. I very much believe that it'll continue to bleed off. Bed Bath. I think Bed Bath might be done on this particular push. Of course, there could always be another dingity ding ding ding. The SPY just hit a new intraday high. We're taking out 399. Yes, that is a resistance level. That's pretty much the high of Friday. And really what I want to see is the reaction to 400, key technical level, key psychological level. And then if we were to break above that today, I would then be watching just above 402. Clearly, the trend is bullish. As of now, as of 9:54 a.m., on Tuesday, January 17th, in the short term, things are looking bullish. 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 Alrighty. And I have my stuff prepped up. Let me just see. I just want to be ready for any trades that I need to make. which it doesn't look like I'll be making any soon because we have quite a bit of chop, and just some of the strategy refining I've been doing lately is a bit more conservative to avoid said chop. And what I mean by chop is the fact that we dumped and then quickly made it back. We learned this lesson, I want to say on Wednesday of last week, where basically the strategy told me to go long at the new intraday high, and it got completely blasted on that. So the new rule, it was on the day that Biden was speaking. So it was on the day that the CPI came out. So it must have been Wednesday of last week. Yeah. So one of the rules of the strategy is if you're at an intraday high, you're not allowed to go long. If you're at an intraday low, you're not allowed to go short, because you shouldn't be buying tops and you shouldn't be shorting bottoms. So even if the strategy were to kick off right now, I'm basically trying to say that it's not going to kick off right now because it's not going to go long at an intraday high, but also even the chart setup is not there for my strategy. There's obviously many strategies out there, and maybe there's some awesome ones telling you to buy here, but buying at resistance, the strat is, I've just gotten eaten alive doing it, and the times that it does work out, it's not a net positive expectancy, so I just avoid it at this point. Take care, Sensei. Feel better, man. Butt stuff. I love you, bro. I love you, butt stuff. Okay. Don't get chopped in the chop. I agree. Oh, if you haven't already, I would kindly ask of you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the like button. Obviously, if you enjoy this content, stocks, options, futures, crypto, breaking news, just messing around, poker, sports bets, this is the place for you to be. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribing on both Rumble and YouTube. I know it's annoying to remind you, but I've seen it when I remind you there are new subscriptions. So if you have yet to subscribe, this is your moment to do it. Subscribe on both, especially Rumble. And if you haven't already, it would very much help me out with the Rumble battle leaderboard if you drop a like. And then on YouTube, it very much helps with the old algorithm. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, this is your reminder. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. You guys, I never really need money from you at all, but that type of engagement is 100% what I'll ask for, because I guess I view it as the likes and the subs and the views go up, I get to continue doing this by demanding a higher ad rate. So it's a win-win. I get to keep doing this content absolutely free for all of you. You guys don't have to spend money. Just the like and the sub is really all I ask for. And also the good vibes. The good vibes doesn't necessarily impact the money in or the money out, but I think good vibes are always a solid win. Good vibes for the win. Blue Apron short squeeze. Is Blue Apron moving? I forget the ticker for Blue Apron. Blue Apron. No, does not seem to be a squeeze. Might turn into one, but doesn't really seem. It actually looks completely horrible. Yeah, no, this looks like this chart is trash. I don't want to be stepping on your dreams or anything, but that is not good looking. That is not a good looking chart by any means. Let me check in on my stuff. No. Nothing to be done. The market internals are neutral, leaning a little bit bullish, just so you guys know, for the overall market. If you're looking at the SPYs, the Q, the Russell, neutral with a slight bullish flare to it, I would argue. A slight bullish flare. What else do we have? What else do we have? Should I have gone to Davos? I'm seeing all these big news reporters there. They're at the Davos for the World Economic Forum, WEF. Kimberly, that's so nice of you. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Goldman Sachs earnings? Not good. I think this is a red year. I want to be very clear of my opinion for the overall market this year. I think we are not going to perform. Actually, I think I don't want to be like a D-Day caller of like, oh my God, horrific, absolutely horrific. But I think it's going to be bad. Like, I don't think it's going to be bullish by any means. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. So for active traders, it's an opportunity to make a lot of money. But I don't think this year ends green. I really just don't. Looks like we might be getting a cup and handle play out. Look at that. We're fighting at 399. Classic cup, classic handle, the breakout, and look at this continuation. Look at that big volume volatility pop. That's looking nice. Look at that. Woo. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Ripping. Was there some sort of... I didn't think there was an extra report today. Was there some sort of good report at 10? I mean, geez, I didn't think there was anything. Yeah, nothing was scheduled to come out. But I don't know. Maybe it just by coincidence perfectly happened at the 10 a.m. hour. I don't think there was a report, but that was a bit. I mean, even look at the volume that came in on that. That was a huge, like, we almost tapped the first minute volume. It's acting as if there was a report. That's interesting. Hang on. Let me just double check to make sure we haven't missed any reports. Hold on. Hold your horses. ECB May option for 25 bips hike in March after 50 bips move in February. Okay, so that just came out. So the European central bank just made some moves. So not necessarily stuff going on in the US, but obviously when you have big movements in Europe, it's going to impact our market. So early this morning, you had the Canadian CPI come in, and it actually came in pretty cool, which was good, lower than expected. And then you have the ECB, the European Central Bank, which is basically equivalent here to the Federal Reserve. So that's their central bank in Europe. We have our central bank, the Fed. The fact that it came in for the ECB may opt for a 25 bips hike in March after 50 bips move in February. So the fact that they're coming in a little less hawkish, still hawkish, but less hawkish, starting to lean dovish. The market really liked that. That was reported at 10 a.m. And that's exactly what led to this big pop right here. I would assume that people are, they're playing it as if, well, if Europe's doing it, maybe the US will do it. So they're kind of hoping that the ECB's movement is telegraphing what will happen here. You have Tesla moving on the news. You have BBBY magically looking alive, coming back after that, which is crazy. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty exciting day. You have RUM holding at 950, key level. SI slowly bleeding off. We'll return to that. BBBY is now up 7%. How is BABA doing? I'm still curious on what there we go. BABA starting to finally move. I was actually very surprised that it didn't have this type of movement already, but now all of a sudden you're having the market react very positively. Look at this. We're ripping up to that key technical and psychological level on the SPY at 400 exactly. Bitcoin at 21.3K. You have Ethereum just below 1600. Things are looking strong. Like I said earlier today, we're lean and bullish. The cup, the handle, the breakout, the market internals, let me check on them for you, are still neutral, leaning bullish, obviously leaning a bit more right now. This, in the short term, if you were to ask me, like, okay, if you're leaning bullish, like, is this something to be bought? I would wholeheartedly argue no. You wait for the pullback. Don't just buy the ripper. Wait for the pullback. You're probably going to get a fill better than 400. And if you don't, if it keeps ripping, okay, you don't have to take every single trade in the market. The market's going to be open tomorrow. But in terms of risk reward, if you go long here, your best risk or your most reasonable risk, your closest risk is 398.37. There's no point in an intraday trade to be risking $1.60. Wait for the pullback. Don't buy it at resistance. Don't buy it after a big volume ripper. Like, it's one thing if you were already in on this move, great. Like, and I hope it continues to trend in your favor. But if you're thinking, oh man, like, should I be chasing this? Do not chase. I mean, I have literally live streamed to all of you losing tens of thousands of dollars by chasing. Just don't. Just wait. Just wait for the pullback. If it doesn't happen, okay, it wasn't meant for you. And most of the time, it does happen, and you can get yourself a better fill. Chasing is the best way to blow up an account. It really is. Chasing and then not respecting your risk and reward, risk to reward, which I would argue like chasing means you're not respecting your risk to reward because you're taking on too much of a risk. So really, it all boils down to what was your risk to reward. But chasing, I would say, is like a sub point of it, of how you could get taken to the wood chipper. Oh, look at that. It's past 10 a.m., which means it is time to stand up. Everyone, let's burn a couple extra calories. Let's give our lumbar a little bit of a stretch here. Oh, folks, that's looking good. That's feeling good, looking good, feeling good. Let's just stretch it out. Everyone, team stretch. Whatever you're doing, if you're sitting right now, if your manager's yelling at you, tell them to stuff it and tell them you just need to take a bit of a stretch. Everyone stand up. It's not good. I'm worried about everyone's cardio health in here, but I'm driving. That's all right. Pull your car over and stand up, or stand up in your car if you're talented enough to do it both simultaneously. Dixie is going up as well. Well, that makes sense because remember, what is the dollar? The Dixie index. That's a measure of the USD versus other competitive currencies. Mainly, it's the euro. There's a little bit of the yen in there. There's a little bit of the pound in there in decreasing order, but it's mainly against the euro, then against the yen, then against the pound, then against some other shit that no one really cares about. So think about what we were just told. We were just told that the ECB, the European Central Bank, is thinking about being less hawkish, i.e. a little bit more dovish, which means that actually could kind of, on a relative basis, that means that the euro is getting stronger against the dollar. So it makes sense in this scenario. And that's why when I talk about the correlation between the market and the dollar, you have to know what's moving the dollar. Most of the time, we're not getting news out of Europe. So the dollar is just either going up or down because of the Fed's decisions here. And that's the inverse correlation. But sometimes the dollar is moving not because of what's happening in the US. It's moving because of what's happening either in Europe, specifically Britain, sometimes Japan. So the news that we just got, the dollar's not moving because of developments here. It's moving because of developments in Europe. And those developments make sense on the dollar right now. You're seeing a strengthening in the dollar relative to our competitors. Also with the market pop. This particular one, and that's why I say there is an inverse correlation, but it's not the strongest correlation because you have to know what's moving the dollar index. And in this scenario, you're basically seeing a less hawkish, central bank over there in Europe. And thus, on a relative basis, the dollar is becoming stronger. Matt, I'm getting anime ads before your stream starts. What does that mean? Means life's a cartoon. Life's a cartoon. Okay, 3. Bed Bath ripping again. Refuses to give up. Tesla up 6%. Dude, market is moving today. The market is moving. Ape is up 9.9%. You have Apple up. Dude, things are moving. Bulls. Hang on, I'm changing the title. This is getting exciting. Live day trading. Bulls rip the markets higher. We'll get some classic rocket emojis. I know you guys get all excited when we put rocket emojis. Because why not? Who doesn't get excited about rocket emojis? All right, good. We'll save that. Live streaming. How freaking cool is this? Like, I still don't think I'll ever get over how incredibly awesome this is. Look at this. This is us. This is how powerful the Goonie community is, specifically on Rumble. If you go to rumble.com right now, there we are. Bada bing, bada boom. This would never, ever be allowed on YouTube. They would be like, nope, we don't really agree with that type of degeneracy. But then yet, here we are. Rumble's like, no, not only do we like it, we support it. We want more of it. This is you guys. We're crushing it. We're featured. We're the #1 people right now. That's so sick. That will never not be cool to me. The market is still looking really good, dude. Everything is Rip City. Everything is Rip City right now. Tesla, how's Baba doing? I want to check in on Baba. Not holding, getting smacked. Little concerning. Do you think Ryan Cohen is going to be pulling his old-timey shenanigans of gets everyone excited and then he rugs them? Doing the old... Damn, I still haven't seen an opportunity to get in on this. Nothing yet. The current algorithm, the Parrot, the current system, mechanical trading system that I've been working on. Speaking with, I was doing way too much Python coding yesterday to back test some of the underlying statistics related to this strategy. But anywho, what am I seeing here? It's looking bullish. There was just no opportunity to get in. The morning, the first, let's just say roughly 45 minutes. I can't really say the first hour because like this part of it was nice. But the first half hour, we'll call it, was chop. It was chop. It was down. It was up. So it didn't really fire anything. And like I said, last week, I tried buying the breakout and I got smacked hard. So basically, I just kind of stopped doing that. Obviously, this time it would have worked out. But I also believe that would have instilled poor trading habits. So I just need to wait. I'm down 77% on AMC, GME, Tilray, 8, BIOR, basket about 20,000. Should I just ignore the market and check it out in 5 years? I mean, there's no way you can like basket all those together. I mean, some of them might perform, some of them might not perform. For example, Tilray, TLRY, if we were just to look at that one, Chris, if all of a sudden, if the devil's lettuce, if marinara gets federally legalized, like you're going to see those stocks absolutely rip. So then that's just kind of a hedge with the government of like, when do you think that's going to get, I guess, political traction? That's tough. If you look at something like BIOR, I'm in that myself. My average based on the new stock split is $100. And I'm not feeling optimistic about it. But all of a sudden, if it comes up with an amazing drug that's FDA approved and all the tests are positive, it'll just gap up hundreds of thousands of percent. But that's just kind of luck. I mean, I don't know enough about the pharmaceutical industry to know their chances of success and or failure. So you have to look at them all individually. Hello from Sweden. What do you think about Kohrs? COSM. All right, I'll put that on the list of things to break down and look at. All right. Is anything exciting happening with Davos? Hang on, let me check if there's any breaking news. Dude, this market is just ripping today. Tesla shares extend gains up 6.6%. U.S. Treasuries fall to session low 3.5. S&P 500 and NASDAQ turn positive. Okay. Putin need to control grain exports to ensure domestic reserves. Oil futures are up $2 a barrel. Oil is ripping, tagged 81 not that long ago. Let me see if I can find anything else in terms of what you need to know in the real time. I've been eating way more red meat ever since eggs surpassed $5 a dozen, especially at breakfast. 4 things I've experienced since. My cholesterol is way down. I'm jacked and can beat up 98% of my coworkers. Ex-wife wants me back. I haven't lost as much money in the markets. Jeez. What else do we have? Any news from Davos? Squawk. I think all the big correspondents right now are in Switzerland. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's one for you. All right, might not be able, getting smacked at 400. This, be careful of buying at big levels like this. If you go long there, your risk is considerable, and it might break out, and I hope it does pay you. But in terms of taking these types of trades over and over and over again, that's a loser's game. Maybe one individual trade, it might work out. You might be buying at resistance. It might rip, and you might be like, great. But is this a good level to long at 400? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Big topics has been TikTok and ByteDance. We don't get an opportunity to talk to you that often, and one of the big topics has been TikTok and ByteDance and China and everything else, and you're right in the center of it. So what do you think of what we keep hearing from U.S. government officials, and where do you think that investment goes?
Yeah, well, first of all, and first and foremost, the company's been performing extremely well. We're up to over 90 million daily active users.
Don't I know it? The Sorkin boys are unfortunately helping you.
So the company's performing well, and we've been engaged with the U.S. government, the national security agencies since the CFIUS review started in 2020,
right,
and consistently engaged, and we're working towards a national security agreement, and we're optimistic we'll secure one.
But are they right? Is it a security threat for people to be on TikTok and have their information be able to be picked
Becky.
up by some server in China and done with we don't know what?
Well, Becky, all of our data is in the Oracle cloud already. I mean, we've taken these concerns very seriously, and we've been executing against the idea of getting into a clean cloud since 2021. And as of, I can say as of today, our data is in the clean cloud and it's safe and secure, really led by Oracle. And it also.
So you think these folks don't know what they're talking about? I mean, you have states now, obviously, that have said, look, you got to, if you're government, if you work for the government, you got to take it off your phone.
I think there's a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about ByteDance and TikTok. And as I said, we've taken all the concerns seriously. We've stayed engaged with the national security agencies during both the Trump and the Biden administration, and we've implemented what we think will be the national security agreement, which is moving all the data into the Oracle cloud, and the data's safe. The data's been safe, and the algorithm is being reviewed by Oracle.
How much of it, though, is about the data being safe today versus the data not being used in some other way in the future, or just the ability of potentially the Chinese government, if you believe that they can control it, to effectively spread information or potentially misinformation or get involved in politics or whatever, given the amount of power they have, given so many Americans use this service. I mean, somebody said to me once that this is like the equivalent to, the FCC would never allow one company to own every local TV channel in America.
Yeah.
This is sort of like that on the phone for a whole new generation.
Well, look, the most important thing for myself, speaking as a parent, is to make sure the data is secure.
Right.
And the data is not leaving the Oracle cloud, is not going back to China or anywhere outside the United States. And we've accomplished that. And that was objective number one. The second is the algorithm.
Really?
Make sure that the source code is also safe and in the Oracle cloud. And with Oracle certifying that it's safe and reviewed. Right. We've done that. We're doing that. And that's always been the basis of the concerns of the national security organizations.
Right. I guess my question to all of you is, do you buy it? Do you believe that the U.S. branch of TikTok is not sending back data, information, anything related to that to the, I guess, main TikTok, which is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company? Like, do you really believe what we're being told right here? Of like, nope, it's a completely separate entity. No way, no how. It's all good. These walls built between us are great, and they're going to stick there. I mean, he 2 times here was kind of leaning on Oracle and saying, no, they're confirming everything. But like, I have a tough time believing it. I have a tough time believing that the U.S. portion of TikTok is siloed. That's my own opinion. And maybe I'm leaning a little bit too much into the conspiracy aspect of it. But I need to know your thoughts. Definitely let me know your thoughts there. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Where are we at? The SPY now just going flat. Tesla ran into 130. Bed Bath moving again. Holy crap. Maybe that Friday move was a fake out. Maybe people took too early a vacation. What do you guys think? As much as about as much as I trusted FTX. I don't know. There's nothing safe about TikTok for Westerners. Oracle Cloud. Plus, if you're interested in the interoperable decentralization, Oracle's YouTube chat asks about Oracle, what Oracle Cloud is. Apple blocked AirPlay during protests. Yo, tell Rumble stock to take off. Hey, Rumble stock, take off. Like that. Did I do it right? Did I do it to your desire? I was grabbing breakfast today and overheard a man getting fired over the phone from his tech job at Uber. He then called his wife and told her they need to list their house for sale because they can't afford a $9.5 thousand monthly payment. Housing market is a disaster. That is not good. Matches Hinge rolls out $60 subscription for motivated daters. Tinder is assessing user interest in a new $1,000 monthly plan. What would Tinder possibly do that is worth $1,000 a month? $1,000 a month. SPY, Nutrient Day high, battling it out that key level of 400. Key level of 400. Let's see if it can hold. This is exciting. It's looking a little bit poppy, a little bit froggy. Let's see if it wants to take the leap. Let's see if it wants to take the leap. Well, apparently 2/3 of you are right thus far. 2/3 of you did your homework over the weekend, or apparently have better connections to Citadel. Two-thirds of you are on fire today. The other 1/3 of you, safe to say that your time in here is it's a little bit limited. You know, we're going to be making some cuts pretty soon. The way a bunch of tech companies, the way a bunch of banks right now are laying people off, yeah, we're going to be doing layoffs in chat here as well. I just want everyone to know. So the weakest performers are going to see ya. So if you guys could all if you guys all want to email me like your year-end performance, like how you think you performed in chat over the past year, we're going to have to be cutting the bottom like 10, 15, 20%. So I'll be looking for your own personal performance review in, I don't know, put it on my desk by end of week, please. End of week. I'd appreciate that. No rush. All right, what else do we have from Davos? Davos. We don't care about that. No, there's a lot of bigwigs here. Do you think CNBC paid for the Squawk Box coats, or do you think these are their own personal coats? I mean, it seems somewhat stylish. A little bit stylish. What is this one? Ooh, big bank. Just so you know, the SPY is continuing to rip. Bullish. The thesis remains bullish. I'm looking for a pullback that I can go long into. All right. Where's the volume?
I know your team has, just in terms of the economy, I mean, obviously this is a moving target. And I know your team has some news today. They're changing their economic outlook slightly. Still talking about a soft recession coming, but pushing that out a little later in the year because consumer spending has been a lot stronger than most people anticipated.
Yeah, and so our team, the research team, basically, if we were here last year at this time, which we couldn't be, but if we were here, they would have said at the end of 22, you'd have seen a recession. Then they pushed it into 23, and now they're pushing to mid-23. And that's because this is the U.S. The strength of the U.S. economy continues to come through. And as the Fed raises rates, they're slowing it down. But there's a lot of underlying growth in consumer spending, not at the same rate, and wages growing, and inflation is hurting people, and they're trying to get it under control. But it's interesting. So they basically say mild recession beginning middle of this year. Fed raises funds to 5 to 5.25, but they do it in 325 basis point increase as opposed to 50 and 25, meaning they'll take more time. Unemployment still gets to 5, but comes on a little later. And so I think they just have kind of the old pig and the snake analogy, it pushed it through a little bit, and we'll see what happens.
Do you agree with that assessment? Because sometimes the management perspective has been different than the House analyst perspective.
Well, we've got internal accountants that I talk to, and we have the research team, which is the best in the world. We agree with that. What we see is the consumer spending across our customer base has slowed, which means that's good news and bad news. So first quarter of 22 over first quarter of 21, 14.5%, about 5%, fourth quarter of 22 over fourth quarter of 21. So far this month, actually, it's back up 6-7%. So it's resilient, but that 5% is more consistent with a 2% growth economy as opposed to a faster growing economy or in lower inflation, honestly. But that consumer spending is strong. The consumers have money in their accounts. They spend it down a little bit. They still have a lot there. So my belief is a mild recession. The conundrum I keep asking, you can ask the economists and others you have, how can you have unemployment only get to what we used to call full employment at 4.5 and only get to 5 and have a recession? Are we going to have an unemploymentless recession? Right. And you keep asking that question, and that's where I think you start to see the real tension.
We don't know what a recession is anymore.
We don't even know what a recession is anymore. My main reaction to said clip is, what is the pig and snake analogy? He's like, oh, it's the old pig and snake analogy. Pig. I'm afraid to Google this. It feels like it's going to get me on one of those watch lists. Pig and snake. What? Pig and snake. A love-leisure relationship. The pig and snake have enough in common that the relationship seems to be destined for success, but as Chinese zodiac opposite signs, their relationship may be fraught with conflict. A lack of constructive contact may be the source of the problem. Well, this is just a love. Am I missing something? Pigs and snakes are besties? I don't care if they watch me. Sounds very China. China. I haven't heard that one. Not knowing what a recession is, peak 2023. Yeah, CNBC. Sometimes they have good takes. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's completely bagging on them, but sometimes they just say shit that I'm like, what's going on? Bacon wrapped scallops. Sign me up. Bed Bath. All right. Let's see. Raise your hand if you're the degenerate. Which of you degenerates are buying Bed Bath today? We should make a wall of, he referenced from Chinese Zodiac, a commie banker. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Okay. Well, who's the degenerates in here that got Bed Bath? Who already bought? I'm in a 420. So you really chased it. It's like I give you guys all these warning signals. Like I'm firing off warnings. And then here we are. Did you go over the stocks you wrote down? No. I'm waiting a hot sec because I'm wondering if my algorithm is going to have me fire off looks like I might be firing off a reversionary trade. Interesting. Interessante. Ballsy. The system is signaling that it might a little bit of a reversion. A little bit of a reversion. Hang on, I'm getting the trade set up just so I don't get completely steamrolled. just so I don't get completely steamrolled. Hasn't fired yet. You'll hear it. You'll hear the order filled. But I just want you guys to know it might be taking a reversion. It's saying things look a little toppy. The system is reading this as like, okay, it popped, it chopped, it tried to break again, showing some weakness. Is the system right? Is it wrong? I don't know. I have done extensive testing on how the system has performed this calendar year, and thus far it is net ahead. My account's not net ahead because I have discipline issues and I myself am like an absolute degenerate. But if I stuck exactly to the system, yeah, I would actually be up. I'd actually be up a couple $1,000s per contract. But that's the difference. So anyway, I just want you guys to know that if this were to break down, these right here, this 399.46, I'm personally going to be trading it through the futures market. But I just want you to know that it would fire for an intraday short. This isn't a swing short or anything like this. If anything, it would just be a quick play back down to this chop level. Basically, the system is saying it might give back this bar. So it's not swinging for the fences because it is a counter trend trade, as in the trend is to the upside. So when it is going for counter trends, it's more of a quick scalp because if it is trending, it would rather just sit in the trend. But since this is counter trend, it's more of a quick scalp type of a setup. But I just want you guys to know that the order is currently sitting and it has not been filled. Once again, you're going to hear order filled. And then we're going to see if it pays off. So I'm still curious about this old, that wasn't it, by the way. I just set myself a personal alert. Brian Seltzer is currently hosting.
Order filled.
There you go. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. It is short at 4,027. Short at 4,027 in the futures market. So right here, here we'll go to the 3-minute. It basically is shorting this breakdown. 4,027 is where I'm short. So I'll just move this up to right there. That's where I'm short. SPY futures trade short at 4,027. All right, I am updating I'm doing the exact stuff that's happening in locals. All right, cool. And I'm going for a profit pretty quickly here. Like I said, it's a scalp because it's anti-trend. Anti-trend, it's just looking for the give back of this bar. And if it hits, the risk is set, the reward is set. If it hits, you're going to hear, well, on either side, if the risk or the rewards hit, you're going to hear order filled. And then if it fills in a positive sense, that means, as you guys, as many of you know, we get to play some fun music. Some fun music. We'll see. We'll see. A little bit of a scalp. A little bit of a scalp-a-rooney. Little bit of a scalp-a-rooney. Little bit of a scalp-a-rooney. Bed Bath taking a breather off of 440. I mean, 5 would be a big level if this can track, and it totally could. I mean, this thing is moving like a madman. It's up 17%. It's at 428 right now. Obviously, a key level people will react to are those nice whole dollar levels. 4, you can see that it chopped up a little bit there. Finally broke above it. Watch 450, half dollar level, but then also pay attention to the $5 level. Matt, long-time viewer, what platform do you use to trade futures? Also, have you put any mentors you learned from greatly increasing your knowledge of trading and mostly self-taught? So I trade futures on TradeStation. I'm still just waiting. If you're interested in that, I would recommend just waiting a little bit because I'm just waiting for a response from the company to try to get you guys a better sign-up deal opposed to just like the normal one. I'm just trying to say, hey, we have a sizable community. Like, could you cut us a deal type of a thing? So I recommend just waiting. I just haven't heard back. Well, I am in correspondence with them. And in terms of mentors, there's a lot of phenomenal books out there. I mean, if you look at the shelf behind me, these are all books. Most of them I've read multiple times. I have a whole nother shelf over here. And then there's even books that I don't have up. But the amount of information that so many phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal traders and investors are willing to give away, it's just in book form. It's amazing. You just have to track down the books. I mean, I have many, many books. People ask me like, okay, like what's a good one to get started with? And I would have to say, well, it depends what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to be an options trader, there's great options books right there. Option volatility and pricing. It's a very difficult read. It's very math heavy. It's very dense, but it's great information. If you're more of a swing trader, the long-term secrets of short-term trading, absolutely love that. I have a couple quantitative books. I have some psychology books. It depends what you're looking for. But my point is you don't have to learn this by yourself. I don't think many people just started this arbitrarily and didn't like learn any information from other people. Like it's just more of, are you curious enough to just keep searching? And that's just books. Like there's great courses out there. There's great lectures out there. Even today, like today's stream sponsor, True Trading Group, like Mike Edward, the head trader over at True Trading Group, he's professionally taught by a hedge fund. Like he used to trade at a hedge fund and now he just does it solo. So right there, you're like learning what hedge fund traders are taught. You don't have to go through this all by yourself. In fact, I recommend like going through and just consuming as much data, like be ravenous in your research, be as curious as possible. I found that for me and my own personality, I found that systematic trading worked the best because I didn't quite have the discipline to stick to whatever my trading plan was. So I basically ended up having to code it up so I knew I was actually sticking to it. I think mine is going to take profits soon. Hang on. Should be taking very, very soon.
Order filled.
Yep. Okay, cool. Locked in. So the short scalp just locked in. It might keep going, but like I said, it's more of a scalp because it's the opposite of the current trend. So it just went for a little profit. So right there, I was able to take down 9 points because I was trading 3 contracts at a time. So right there, trade 1 of 1 on the day, took this little bit of a reversion, not swinging for the fences on it because once again, I want to drive home the point. It is better to trade with trend. That was an anti-trend trade. So I still had edge. I still had positive expected value. If I take that trade over and over and over and over again, I know it'll be net ahead. Not every time, but it's not swinging for the fences because once again, it's just, that's not what I'm looking for at that current moment. What I am looking for is for this to pull back exactly like I said. And as soon as I started to see it swinging, that's when I want to go long. And that's more of my trend following of like, oh, I want to stick with the trade. So anti-trend, I go for little scalps. With trend, I want to hold. I want to go with the trend because that's where you make your big money. Well done. That was such a good trade. Also, according to price action. Yeah, just a quick thing. I do appreciate that, but also, I mean, I like it because I didn't have to do anything. Like the robot just did it all for me. Just waiting, just catching the little momentum moves here and there. And if it bases and starts to swing back up, I could see myself, I could actually see the system. If it bases and moves, I could actually see that position being held for like potentially all day. But that was just a quick little pop. And I like it because it gives me a little bit of a buffer on my next entry. So whatever the risk is, well, it's a little bit less risky now that I have one nice win in capturing 9 points. So I like that. Still confused on this pig and snake thing. Oh, wait, we forgot to celebrate.
Wall Street, 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 Wall Street. Now my stock rising, got the eyes on me. Wall Street.
What are you doing, step bro?
That will always, 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 always be funny to me. Always, always, always be funny to me. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. All right. So we did that. We locked in one good trade. Locked in one good trade. That song blows. No, you blow. No, you take that back. No, you don't know what you're talking about. 4023.75. All right, cool. Updated locals. Let's see. Is there any other breaking news? So what I'm really looking for here, well, first of all, this is your alert on Bed Bath that it is looking hungry. Bed Bath is looking like a hungry hippo right now. This could get a little bit spicy. So that could be exciting to watch. Baba not performing as much as I wanted to today. Tesla looking good, up 5%. SI still, it's looking good intraday, but I still really don't like this stock. So we're closely monitoring that. But anyway, with the SPY, what I would personally love to see is exactly what's happening. I would love to see it pull back into this breakout region, retest it, kind of shake out the supply and demand in this region. I don't want it to sell off of this hard. Geez, I just wanted it to get back into this region and trade sideways for a little bit. But now we're seeing weakness. Am I missing something? Did something happen that wasn't supposed to? Hang on. I was in no way expecting this severity in the pullback. I'm not seeing any new news. We got to stay top of it. No, this is apparently a natural pullback. What are we looking for today? No, I guess this is. Jay Powell was fired in his comments.
Thank you for being here. For legal purposes, I actually just woke up an hour ago, threw on a suit, and didn't even wash my balls, but it's okay. As you all know, I'm Jerome Powell, and let me tell you, inflation is a real pain in the ass. I heard some pores on the streets complaining about $8 egg prices. Like I was saying to my good buddy Kashkari that day, what could an egg normally cost man? $10. Just seems like a lot of unnecessary complaining. Back in my day, a G-Wagon cost around 100 bands. And now almost twice that. That's why I really feel for the average American. Inflation is like your wife's boyfriend, no matter what. It won't go down on you enough in the long run. But don't worry. We at the Fed know exactly how to handle it. We have tools in our arsenal to keep inflation in check, such as adjusting interest rates and pretending to reduce the balance sheet, while the Treasury continues to do QI. As for interest rates, they're like a roller coaster ride. Wish my wife would do that. Too bad you're stuck on this ride for the long haul. And as for bulls and bears, they're like two chefs for Putin trying to cook up a storm in the kitchen, one stirring the pot with too much force and the other poisoning it too lightly, but in the end they both get pushed out a window for not following the recipe correctly. Let's be real here. It's all a game, and we're the ones making the rules. As my mother used to preach to me when I was merely a baby suckling at her tit, fuck your puts, fuck your cuts, fuck your calls. Jay Powell will have you by the balls. What a visionary. Anyways, I digress.
Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Mr. Powell, with all of this talk about sticky inflation and tricky markets due to you regards, are you considering a career change and becoming a professional clown? If not, when will you be buying stonks again, and which ones? The Financial Times aren't paying me enough to deal with this shit, and I lost the rest of my money on slot 300s.
Every opinion you all have about the economy and other current events is wrong. You think stocks will go up? Wrong. Down? Wrong. Sideways? Also somehow wrong. Down? Wrong. Sideways? Also somehow wrong. Do you admit you don't know? You think Ukraine will hold out and win? Completely and utterly wrong. Or perhaps you think Ukraine will capitulate at any minute. Never before has anyone been so wrong. I think Zelensky should do this. No, he should not do that because of how wrong you are. You think CPI is an accurate measure of inflation. Or maybe you think it's completely rigged and doesn't even remotely capture true inflation.
Nick Demeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, core PCE inflation on a 3 or 6 month annualized basis and on a 12-month basis has been running in the high fours, close to 5%. Is there any reason to think you won't have to raise rates at least above that level to be confident that you are imparting enough restraint to bring inflation down?
Well, let me tell you what is truly captured in that thought. The magnitude of how fucking wrong you are. I know what you're thinking. I'll just inverse every thought I have, and then I'll be right and get rich off all my trades. Guess what? By simply birthing that thought into the ether of the world means that it's wrong. And no matter how many infinite inversions of your thoughts that you take, you always be dead fucking wrong. The universe has willed it. It's like electromagnetic or gravitational forces, an ever-present constant throughout the fabric of every possible space-time reality. So next time you maybe some dumbass bullish or bearish position or talk about CPI like an asshole, just know that you're completely wrong about it and always will be. That said, SPY at 320 by June. In conclusion, we are all fucked. Klaus Schwab is currently holding D's nuts hostage. And may God bless my money printer. Thank you.
Well, I think we all learned a little something there. I really, really do. And I feel like that's a good point. If you guys want to listen to that, it seems to be a Wall Street Bets post. I just want to show it to you. Credit due where credit is due. Official Wall Street Bets. We'll follow that actually. It was just like some voice over here at official_Wall Street Bets. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right. This is, I feel like a good old pause point. A good old pause point. That vomit, I could have captured more, but I was just happy with like this into here. I just wanted for it to crack 399. That's where I captured my profits on this short. Obviously, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If I held it, it could have been better. Actually, is it going to tell me to go long? No, it's not. It's not. Okay, so we are still good on time, which means this is the perfect time to do the chart review of what everyone was asking before. So let me get rid of this. 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 And we will go down the list. So the first person who asked was about 217 coin puts. So February monthly coin puts. Actually, we're kind of seeing here of my call out on where this could potentially be going. So you're looking for 217. So you have quite a bit of time and you have $40 puts. I think you're a little bit early. You got the puts on a considerable amount of strength, like a lot of strength. I would have waited for some weakness. Granted, if you hit it right and it claps there, that's your max money. But you should be focusing more on your risk rather than like your reward. I think obviously you have to focus on both, but the main focus should be like, what are you risking in the scenario? And when you're buying it Rip City, I mean, I guess right now maybe your risk is like 58, something like that. Overall, I like it. I mean, you're giving yourself time. I like the time you gave yourself. The SPY is showing a little bit of weakness right now, so it might start to crack. I mean, the crypto market's been strong, but my only issue with this coin put, the $40 put for the Fed monthlies, is I would have waited a little bit more for weakness to show itself in the chart. You also have Netflix puts. Why is this not coming up? Netflix puts. Oh, beautiful. My risk would just be the high of 336.50. You are playing the Netflix for this week at 310. 310's a little far out, could totally hit, but you waited for it to rip. It sounds like you already had these last week, so it seems like you had that same issue. Fortunately, today you caught the crackdown, but I would have entered today at like whatever, 330, 333 when it started to show weakness. So I think you were a little early on the entry, but it is fortunately breaking in your direction. The only thing I don't like about it is you're not giving yourself that much time to get, I mean, that's a decent percentage movement. It could totally happen, but I mean, I like the trade. I just wish you entered today, and I wish you gave yourself a little bit more time. Tesla, I was even calling out how Tesla was looking weak last week, but now we have a higher low. It's breaking out. You have a $75 put for 421. Okay, so you're giving yourself a ton of time. I like that, but once again, we're showing weakness. I would actually cut it and wait for, or it's showing strength right now. Personally, I would actually cut the position and then wait for it to start to bend back over, because right now the MACD is showing strength. We see higher lows. We see a new high. Tesla is just showing strength right now. So I would just wait for the strength to stop to play those puts. We went over Shiba. Camille was asking about PLD. This is a real estate play. I am very hesitant about the world of real estate right now, just because it does seem like that sector is getting absolutely murked. Lower highs, lower lows, a little bit of consolidation ever since November. It's showing strength above 124, does set up 130, but I'm just hesitant because everything I see about real estate right now is that it's not doing well. So I would be concerned with like the macro issue going on. But in a chart perspective, sold off again, made a higher low. Maybe this is the turnaround. If you went long, you would risk 110, $12 risk, about 11 to 10%. So you have to ask yourself if that is an acceptable risk, and that's from person to person. But I would rather keep my risk tighter on this type of play, just knowing what's going on in the world of real estate currently. All right, this is for you, Pizza. Enphase Energy, ENPH. Beautiful rally. The entry was a nice one between Wednesday and Thursday of next week, so I hope you're already in it at 233. Popped up to 260. I'd be looking for it to take out 270, but you're pretty close to this like reversion off the bottom. So obviously, I love the entry around 240. You could have risked 224, so you could have risked about $15. You're already up. Keep riding, and drag your trailing stop loss with you. I like this reversion, but it's going to be a big fight between like 265 and 270. And then obviously, if it can get above that, you're talking about 290. Enphase Energy. Apple having a good day, actually kind of looking like Enphase. Sold off. Reversion, your risk is 125. You're buying the breakout of 130. You're at resistance right now of the mid 130s, and then you have some close at 140. But after that, you're talking a bit higher of 147. This is the daily chart, so I don't want to get confused with the intraday chart, but we're seeing this nice reversion. I do want to clarify that I don't think Apple, this is the bottom. I do think it makes another low because we know it's so associated with the SPY. It's so associated with the Qs. And when I say associated, I mean highly correlated. I mean, Apple, it carries quite a bit of weight in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. So if those things turn, vice versa, Apple will also be turning. But for right now, just like the SPY, the phase is to the upside. You're a little late to go long now, and it's a little too early to short. But if you're already carrying a long position, good for you. Tilray, I like paying attention to this, but it is not really a fundamental or a technical play. This is a political play. If this is one that you're basically just betting on the federal government legalizing marijuana. If it does it soon, it's going to explode. If it takes a while, then you have to start looking at its cash burn and ask yourself, how long can the company survive? But I really don't believe this is a fundamental or a technical play. You're just waiting on the government, unfortunately. I know that's not a fun answer, but that's just how I view the current situation. Mullen, like I said, pump will lead to a dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. I know some of you in here are Mullen lovers, and I want it to work out for you, but I do believe you are playing a low odds setup. This, like BBBY, is another active trade. There's a big difference between active trades and investments. Some of you in here, I know, unfortunately, we have differing opinions, but I'm not going to sway my opinion just because it's what you want to hear. I am more worried about people who are going to stuck being bag holders. If I rode Mullen up, my absolute risk would have been this low on Monday the 9th. I would have been out at 32.5 cents. If you are still long on Mullen, there's a high odds chance you are going to end up being a bag holder. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want anyone to be a bag holder, but look at its chart. All this thing does is pump, dump, 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 pump, dump. Like, I'm confused why anyone thinks this time around is going to be different. Like, I just don't know why. And maybe you have a thesis, and I would love to hear your thesis. If one of the mods could put the call-in number in chat on both Rumble and YouTube, If you are a big Mullen supporter, call in, explain why. Maybe you could switch my mind, but I don't think so. All I see are lower highs, lower lows. This is another pump dump, the exact same thing we've seen from Mullen so many times before. This is not going to hold. Like, could it? Theoretically, yes, but you're talking about like a snowball's chance in hell. It's just, I really, really want to warn you guys out there, be careful on this. Do not be a bag holder. Mara should be doing well with the crypto pump. Mara coin, they're going to be looking just like crypto. Once again, you're too late to go long. You're too early to go short. If you already have a trade, you're catching it. Great. Remember, your goal is to catch the meat of the move. So if you're long, hold it. Love the breakout at 7. Looking for a test of maybe the lower 9s. It's kind of mid-range right now, but still repping some strength. AMC, getting a pump. I mean, obviously this stock has been absolutely slaughtered. We're seeing various pump and dumps in the short time frame. Recently we had a dump. We're pumping off of that. I hope it holds. I would love to get this break above the mid 5s. Would love to see a break above 650. It's as simple as this. They have too much debt. They pay way too much interest on said debt, and they're not raising enough money, and all these shenanigans going on with Ape. It's just not good. In the short time frame, there's not much bullish things happening. I very much hope it turns around. I'm still invested in AMC for my own selfish, greedy, I guess, opinions and positioning. I want it to go up, but let's be realistic. Lower highs, lower lows. The trend is clearly to the downside. I want it to change, but just calling it out at this moment in time, it is not looking good in the short time frame. The long time frame is a different scenario. I would love for it to turn around. It's just, we're just not seeing that right now. Someone asked about the SPY. We've been talking about that. Looks like Apple, looks like Microsoft, looks like Tesla. We're seeing a nice pop. It broke out of the recent highs, but let's see if it's just going to get smacked here. I do believe eventually get smacked. I just have no idea where it will get smacked. Netflix coin, we did that. Some people were asking about COSM. Trash, absolute trash. Like, no, I wouldn't trade it at all. If I did it, I would short the fuck out of it. This is trash. 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 The only way to play this one is to the downside. Absolute garbage trash. RBLX. A nice movement to the upside finally for Roblox. I'm actually very surprised about how bad Roblox got hit, but you could see ever since Feb of 2022, it's been range bound. So you could watch for trend line breaks, you could watch for range breakouts, but in terms of like investing or anything like it, I do like it. To my understanding, Roblox is essentially crack cocaine video games to our kids. Like, it is a very popular service. So I like that. But in terms of its chart, you just have to wait for some sort of movement. And I don't know if there's going to be much positive movement this particular year because I'm bearish on the overall market. So I like it and I'm paying attention to it. I just don't know if now is the time to strike. I just want to put that out there. Roblox, Roku, another one that used to be high flying, crashed hardcore. Looks just like some of these other ones. Hardcore sell. The opportunity to get in here was early Jan. You could be riding it up. I wouldn't. Same thing that we've been talking about. This is not the time to go long. You're a little too late. Not the time to short. You're a little too early. You just have to wait on Roku. Silver's been doing well. Gold's been doing well. Precious metals have been doing well recently over the past month or two. We had this pop. We had this breakout. I'm bullish arbitrarily on them for the year. Precious metals I am bullish on. So this is silver. You can wait for this range breakout. Maybe your support's 21. You can look at things like gold. Gold's been ripping. Bullish on gold. Bullish on silver. Bullish on copper. Bullish on precious metals at this moment in time. SoFi finally picking up, but once again, pay attention to its trend. Because of that, maybe you have an active trade to the upside. But really, I think the smart play in here is waiting for the pops and betting against it. As these interest rates are going up, as there's debt forgiveness, like SoFi is not going to perform. Like right now, it got caught up in a bad environment. So I want it to be successful, but right now it's running into serious headwinds. People were asking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been really strong. Oh, we still have when we're looking at the angle thing, many green days to start off this year. Would love to see clearly this break. We're at resistance between 21 and 23. Would love to see that break. And then if it were to take out 25, that would be a big win. Actually, Bitcoin taking out 25,000 could potentially represent a reversal. In all reality, I like this bullishness, but we also know it's high correlation with the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. Those are all pumping right now. I don't think that the pump is going to last forever. I do think that we're heading into a breather within the next couple of weeks. So I would love for it to go up to that level. But remember, with Bitcoin, as the dollar pops, which is going to happen when they raise interest rates, you're going to see Bitcoin go down. So be careful with the next 2 rate hikes. I am still a very much a long-term believer in Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean I believe in its success in the short term right now, just because we are still in a tough environment. And I'm not sure we've really seen the end or the conclusion of all of the fallout from Terra Luna, Voyager, 3AC, FTX. I still think we have to shake out a couple other players. Tesla, strong. We kind of talked about that. Higher low now, higher high, showing some strength. This double top not holding, so the bulls are winning the battle on Tesla. Home Depot, I like this one as an investment. Great dividend, fortress-like balance sheet. Home Depot is one that you could just buy and you just let it sit, collect the dividend. Honestly, the same argument with Microsoft. You buy strong companies when they're weak, you collect the dividend, hold them in the long term for the stock to rebound. Oxy, my current oil play. I'm a little bummed out that it's not above 70 right now, especially with oil trading at over 90 a barrel, but I do like it bouncing off the trend line. I probably should have added more in the low 60s to bring my average to somewhere in like roughly I'd be break even now, but really I'm looking for Oxy to break back above 67. Still one of my favorite medium-term investments. And then people were asking about rum. Rum's been on a crazy rally lately. $6. We're on a 56% rally. My average cost is right around $9.50, so I'm pretty much break even. Would love to see the break above 10 and then a test of 11. This one, I don't actively trade it. I'm very much interested in being a long-term investor in RUM, a direct competitor to YouTube that has been growing like crazy. And I really think that rum stock is going to shine in 2024 when all the monthly active users start getting absolutely bloated because of the political election cycle. So I think I view this year as kind of its foundational year of get your product where it needs to be, get your scalability where it needs to be, get your advertisers where they need to be, and then reap the reward in an explosive 2024. So I know this is a short time frame. Obviously, that's some great movement. Really like it. But this is by no means an active trade for me. I'm invested in rum. And that's pretty much the list I have for you guys. Was I supposed to make any trades? No. Market is now looking weak. Tesla going sideways. Bed Bath turning. SI turning as well. Okie doke. Pizza. Twitch has not been fun for me, to say the least. Pizza, I mean, of course, you could always DM me or something or get a hold of me in the Discord, but you should definitely be getting on rum. Like, I mean, they are clearly putting a big emphasis on their gamers right now, and, like, you would crush it over there. Like, their gaming channels over the past month have been getting huge. So, and you can multi-stream. Like, who cares? Like, no love lost. But if anything, Pizza or Lipster, I know you're taking a little bit of a break from gaming or streaming your gaming, I should say. But for any streamers out there who worry that Twitch or YouTube or whatever is a little bit too crowded, I mean, Rumble's the place for you to go. Rumble's by far the place for you to go. I want to learn trading options. What do you recommend I watch? I mean, I don't know what your skill level's currently at, but if you're looking for like a novice introductory, if you just go to my channel, I have a free options intro playlist of like 5 or 10 videos to get you started. Gave out last week in the ER tweets. I'm taking a break, a life break. I understand, Lipster, man. I'm sorry to hear about that. Sold my SPY calls when the European news came out. Good for you, Nick, man. You're crushing it. Rumble needs to make silver rum bottles for subs. At some of the events I've gone to for Rumble, they do have Rumble rum, and it's actually pretty good. Can we live stream music on Rumble? Yes. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I know you don't get demonetized for it. I mean, eventually that will stop. That's commonly when you have new companies, they don't necessarily have the tech yet to like do DMCA tracking. We saw that in the old days of YouTube. We saw that in Twitch. And right now you're experiencing that in Rumble. So you could do a lot more stuff on Rumble than you could do on any other streaming service. Any other streaming service. Agreed. I was on Twitch for a year, had maybe 5 to 10 total views on a stream. On Rumble, I get 75 to 150 on every stream. It's a night and day difference. Well, it's referred to as the blue ocean strategy. That phenomena that you're seeing, it makes sense because there's a lot less people in the ocean. So if you're doing or streaming something that anyone wants, well, there's a better chance of them finding you. The discoverability on Twitch is absolutely horrific. It's a little bit better on YouTube, but it's exponentially better on Rumble. I'm worried Rumble will be a victim of success. RB spends like $1 billion a year on data services cloud for its video hosting. Yeah, but one advantage of Rumble is they have their own internal cloud system. Like Rumble is hosted by Rumble Cloud. That's part of their business. So that'll help defray some of the costs. But also, one of the biggest aspects of Rumble is its organic growth is unmatched. It's unbridled. And I wholeheartedly believe it's just going to get massive in 2024. Massive in 2024. Appreciate you been listening since January 2021. Jake the Snake, shout out. Ouch, my wife's account is break even at 12. Well, it depends. Like if she's a long-term investor, the movement day to day, week to week, month to month, just it really doesn't matter. Like you're looking years out. Yes, I agree 100% with the inflow to Rum during the year leading to the election, not to mention the content. They impose restrictions so much on Twitch. It's tough. On Twitch, I mean, similar to YouTube, Twitch is just murk people for no reason. So can you do live sports game watch along on Rum? You could, but obviously if the owner of that media, like such as the NFL or MMA, if they see it, they're going to take it down. But so it depends. I mean, you're flying close to the sun with that. Will you get automatically taken down the way you get on Twitch or YouTube right now? No. In the future, yeah, it's going to happen. But as their tech's building up, like someone would from like the content owner would literally have to file a complaint because that like technically is a DMCA violation. I'm curious how Rum will handle copyright claims from the holders. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be similar to like whatever you see, like the copyright stuff. So I've done it. I mean, I stream here with you guys. Like I'll do like a full, Spy just tagged a new intraday low. I should have held that short the entire time. I would have had a good position. I was looking at it, higher highs, higher lows. There was no reason at 10:30 to think that this breakdown was going to be so large. I'm actually very, very surprised. I obviously woulda, coulda, shoulda. I wish I held it, but I simply did not expect it to be this large. But hey, life lessons. So I'll let you know when or if it trades again. The system had one good trade already today, but I was just not expecting it to be this large by any means. The internals are they're in the neutral territory, but they're like taking a beeline to the bearish territory. I just want everyone to know. Matt, the daily time frame tagged 400. Yeah, I mean, that's a key level. That's exactly why I called it out to you. And that's why I didn't mind the system going short right after it, because that's a key technical and psychological level. Like 400 is massive. Of course, you're going to have a lot of people reacting to it. And the bulls just didn't have enough momentum to carry it. Actually, I should probably... market chat with hedge fund trader. Market chat with X. hang on, I'm just updating this. So in a couple minutes, we're going to be joined by Mr. Michael Edward from True Trading Group, which will be great. He is an ex-hedge fund trader, and we are here to get his thoughts on everything going on in the market. Everything going on, not only in the short term, but where he sees things going maybe this year. So it's going to be a fun conversation. And that's going to be happening in about 20 minutes, just so everyone knows. 20 minutes. For those of you who haven't done it already, make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe. I do appreciate it. Based on how many viewers we have in here and how many we're at, hey, I know a lot of you are kind of ignoring it, but it does mean a lot to me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. I do truly appreciate it. And also don't forget, if you want to be a part of the community, the Moon Gang community, MattKohrs.locals.com. It's pinned to the top. It's in the description of the video. Join up with locals. This is where we do the giveaways. This is where I do my trades. This is where we do weekend streams, some poker, some sports gambling. You could post your trades, your ideas. It's basically just like a private group. For example, this was my trade from this morning. Here, I could reload it. Right here, 4027, and I let you know, so I signaled it out, and that was obviously, you could have taken this trade and you were literally paid for this for the entire year. This service, there is a free version, then obviously there's a premium version that is $10 a month. Check it out if you want to try the premium version, and maybe you're just not in the situation that you can make it work. You can get a free month trial by using the code GOONIE, GOONIE. Just put that in there when you're signing up. So if you're I don't know if I'm really sold on this Matt character, I don't know if this is for me, you could try it out. No harm, no foul. And it will just use the code GOONIE. So you could get the premium version for free, GOONIE, MattKohrs.locals.com. And you could see if this is for you, see if it's a good fit. I wholeheartedly believe it is, but obviously that is in the eyes of the beholder, which would be you cool people. What platforms are good to day trade options with a small account? TD Ameritrade, their platform is Thinkorswim. That's a pretty popular one. Interactive Brokers, that's a pretty popular one. I'm just now getting used to Tasty Trade. So I'll let you know more on that, but I'm kind of getting going with that brokerage to see if I like it or not. But those are probably, I think Interactive Brokers and Thinkorswim's probably the most popular. I highly recommend not doing any form of trading on the likes of Robinhood or Webull. You get awful fills. You're getting absolutely destroyed by market makers. It's just, if you're on Robinhood or Webull, you're just asking for trouble. Well, also, it's inherently just costing you money. If you're always getting a 1% worse fill on something like Robinhood or Webull, well, add that up among all of your trades. That's quite a bit of money. So I wouldn't do any form of trading, any form. Honestly, I don't know. I see other people who are hashtag influencers in the space, and the fact that they are still using Webull tells me they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's such an utter joke. The fact that people still have Webull, affiliate links and all that, we know they're a trash company. Same with Robinhood. How many times do people need to get burned by these companies to stop using them? I'm on TD, just want more day trades. Screw the PDT rule. Yeah, try Interactive Brokers maybe. That's a good one, popular one. Fidelity, I use Fidelity for my retirement account. I've never used Fidelity Active Trader Pro, so I can't say anything positive or negative about it. But Fidelity I have found to be good for retirement account stuff. Moomoo, I've never used Moomoo. There are people in here, actually there's some of the mods and stuff use Moomoo, and they all did not like it at all. They found the UI and the UX to suck. I personally haven't used Moomoo. What are your thoughts on using market orders versus limit orders or any other kind? You should always be using market orders to enter because you're guaranteeing the price and you're not getting screwed by market makers, or excuse me, not using market. Market orders is saying, get me in or out, depending if you're doing a market buy or sell, regardless of the price. And that's how you get absolutely gouged by market makers. So maybe limit orders to get in. I understand stop market orders, like when you're exiting, because you're like, oh, if it falls below this level, I just want out no matter what. Because if you use a stop limit, if it skips over your limit, you might not get your exit. So I understand stop market orders, but in terms of entering, if you're trying to guarantee your price and not get gouged by market makers, you should be using limit orders to get in. Use Webull for TA? No, use right here, TradingView. TradingView's TA is far superior to Webull. There's literally not an aspect of Webull that is beaten by anyone else. You don't have better fills, you don't have better data, you don't have better charting, you don't have better vision on what's going on in the market internals. There's literally nothing else in Webull that you should be using. Like, there's no argument for it. There's nothing easier to use than Robinhood. That's one thing I'll give Robinhood is the UX, also known as user experience. They make it easy. But if anything, I don't understand why other brokerages aren't emulating that. And honestly, that's a tough thing for me to say because I hate Robinhood and I hate Robinhood with a passion, but I will give it to them. They do have the best UI and UX. They're such a seamless, streamlined process to do, especially in the world of options trading. So I'll give them that. I'm just hoping that one of these other brokerages steps up and says, oh, hey, they made theirs incredibly easy. We should do the same. I have never been burned by Robinhood. I always do a limit buy or sell. Yeah, to enter position. Well, limit sells are dangerous, and I know you can't short, so you're not saying you created it on Robinhood. But be careful with those limit sells because if it skips over your order, it could keep going the other way and then you're absolutely screwed. So be careful with that. I'm taking my marbles and going home. Robinhood charting is absolutely junk. Oh yeah, their charting is trash. Webull has better charting, but both of them have really shit execution. I mean, whenever you do an order and the fact that it has to think about it for a second or two, trading should take microseconds. If it's thinking about it that long, that is the time that you're actually just getting destroyed by Citadel, directly by Citadel. If you use Robinhood, you're straight up losing money from the games they'll play, not filling your orders quickly or at all. Yeah, I mean, their fills are comically bad. Weebles are bad too, but not as bad as Robinhood's. Robinhood's, you could almost feel your order getting ping-ponged around in the market ether, and there are just all these different HFTs and retail wholesalers they're all taking their little bit of money off of all of your trades, and then you multiply that out by as many people that are doing that trading, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Hey Matt, Fernando from Brazil here. What do you think about Quotex for trading options? It's quite popular among traders here. Unfortunately, Fernando, I can't really say anything positive, negative, anything like that, because I personally haven't used it. Oh, brother. All right, we're going to drop it to the 5 here. We're going to drop it to the 5. We're going to drop it to the 5. We're going to drop it to the 5. Is the 5. You can trade through good brokers directly on TradingView. Yeah, I mean, they do have some sort. I haven't done it, so I can't. There is a way to connect your brokerage here on TradingView. Trading panel, maybe. Yeah, so wait, they have paper trading. So you could connect to Tradier. You could connect apparently to Gemini, Interactive Brokers. This is a really popular one. It looks like Alpaca, whatever the hell that is. Optimus Futures, haven't heard of that. But yeah, you have various brokerages you could connect to and execute the trade on their charts. I just do it by hand. But maybe I should be doing it that way. Maybe it would be easier, potentially. But I don't see the connection to the brokerages that I personally use. So I might be a little SOL. Okay, so all I did today was one short trade. I really didn't think that the sell-off was going to be this bad, but whatever, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It is what it is. So right now we're kind of getting into that like lunch chop time. So and also we're going to be talking with Mike in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to take a break in the midday from my active day trades, but obviously when we come back to that afternoon post-lunch session, hopefully I'll be a little rested and relaxed and ready to crush a couple extra trades. But if I don't, honestly, I'm really happy with the trade I got today. I captured 9 points. If you do that on one mini contract, that's $450 before commissions. So I'm stoked with that. Like that's some good points to collect. And it is what it is. Mike, who's Mike? Mike is an ex-hedge fund trader who Mike from TTG, ex-hedge fund trader who now trades what he was taught at the hedge fund, but he teaches people publicly about it. That's what I'm talking about here. This is True Trading Group. They have a 1 week, a 7 trading day trial for just $3. So you could see if it's for you, but that's all in the description. Or if you have questions or anything about it, reach out to me. I mean, I know the guys who run the whole thing pretty well. I mean, I've been talking to them now for like a year and a half, and they're pretty cool guys. My favorite stock is Enron. Combat Carl, proud TTG member here. You could take, you don't have to take my word for it, obviously. Ask some members. Like, it looks like Combat Carl, and here's a member of TTG. Combat Carl, do you think it's worth it? Like, to all the people in here? I will vehemently argue that the trial is worth it. It's a $3 trial for 1 week, like no love lost. But right there, Combat Carl said 100% worth it. I just don't like Mike because he doesn't do the AO when he comes into your channel. Should I make him do that? Like every time he turns on any interview, should he be doing the AO? My role model is SBF. You guys you're on one today. You were saving up all your jokes from the extended weekend. Yes. His trades reverse during interviews. Yeah, no, that is one trend that we've seen is no matter what I do during an interview, there's only been one interview where it continued in my favor, and that was the Max Mayer interview, who is doppelgangers of John Mayer. How do I use a VPN to open an account in Robinhood? You don't. That's illegal. And if you can't figure out how to break the law by yourself, you probably shouldn't be breaking the law. Is there a way to do it? Of course there's a way to do it. But just don't use Robinhood. Use a broker in your area. Like, why would you take on that risk? Talk about risk and reward. The risk is breaking the law. The reward is trading on an absolute shit brokerage. Where are we looking? What is going on? Kramer sees bullish signs starting to emerge in the stock market. That was last night. Last night at 8 p.m. Kramer. I'm trying to see if there's... What the hell is this? Oh, now I'm still just... Sorry, I'm having a flashback to my anger prompted by Tom Brady's underperformance last night. Like, why couldn't he just make 2.5 touchdowns? Also known as 3 touchdowns. Like, why? Like, am I wrong here? I feel like going into it was that... I don't even feel like it was the bad bet. I feel like it was the right bet. I really, really do. If I could go back in time, I'd probably make... Like, I don't think that was the unlikely scenario. And yet, he just sucked. Matt, the NFL is rigged. That's fine. I just want to know in which way it's rigged. It was a good bet. I agree. I really do. I do believe it was technically the right bet. He hit on yards and completions. I didn't take completions. I did take yards. I also took the Godwin of 6.5. But the touchdowns, like the offense, and like maybe that's just not even like I know the quarterback has quite a bit to do with offense, obviously. But I don't know. I guess the Cowboys defense was just a little bit too strong. Uh-oh. Why do people create new accounts after they're banned 6 times? Because they love us. They like pushing your buttons, Chaos. You still believe AMC and BB Squeeze is even real hedges playing the game? There's like the fact of like believing in a squeeze. That's so silly. Like believing in a squeeze. This is a game of math and like reading the writing on the wall. Believing in a squeeze. Save your believing for Santa Claus. Do you believe in a squeeze? Like what the fuck? That's so silly. There's like that's. I believe in the school. I believe. Let's save your religion for church. Don't save your religion for the market. The market's about making money and making good risk-reward trades. Understanding what's happening, not just I believe. Hell yeah, I believe, bro. I believe. You can't stage/set up a play. Athletes are not actors. I don't think it's actually rigged. I think refs might have their own bias and might favor one person or another, but I don't think it's like full on rigged. Full on rigged. All right. Hang on. Looks like Mike is here. Hold on one quick second, Mike. I'll get you set up so everyone can see how pretty you are. Let me. Alrighty. How are you, Mr. Michael Edward from the True Trading Group? How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm doing well. It's a good start to the week for us.
Yeah, I mean, strange day in the market. Things were crazy bullish at open. I was looking at the internals. I looked at it, and when it hit 400, I took a little bit of a reversion, took a couple points in the futures market on the way back down. But the vomit that it led to, if I held it, I'd be way up more. But I wasn't expecting it. We were paying attention to the European news. It looks like everyone's kind of going the way of the U.S. If it'll just be 25 bips, and we'll see everything going on. But and I know it was a key psychological level, SPY at 400. I know there's a big trend line, and I know a lot of people were reacting to it. But I don't know, something about the strength of which we opened and the fact that we got hit that easy. It was almost like the buy liquidity just got sucked out. And